S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta was released on the 26th of November as a regular over-the-counter release and retails for 6,600 yen or roughly $50 US, depending on where and where you pick it up from. I'm going by the current conversion rate, so give or take a couple of dollars. As usual, I bought my copy right here at a local store in Japan, but if you missed out on the initial pre-orders, I definitely go back to your usual suspects like Army and Hobby Link Japan. As the general trend goes, stores usually get in a bit of stock on release day, which I'd say lasts for a couple of days at best, and then after that you'd be kind of hard pressed to find one for retail. So again, my advice would be going back to those places you missed the pre-orders from and see if they have any extra stock within this next couple of days or this next week. Again, Army, Hobby Link Japan and Amazon JP are my usual go-tos. I'll have the links in the description. So it has been exactly a year, well, technically a year and a month, since Tamashii released what in my opinion is to date the best Goku figure in the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball line. Yes, this guy right here is not just one of the best Goku figures ever, but probably one of the best S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball figures in general. Only being beaten out by Figuarts Cooler in my personal top 10 figures of 2021 last year. So, can the same be said for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta? Could this possibly be the best Vegeta figure we've seen in the line? Absolutely. It is insane just how good this figure is. I absolutely love what Tamashii did with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and they totally delivered once again with Vegeta. There are a few minor things that I think detract it from being an almost perfect release, but I'll get into that a little bit more later. For me, it still feels a little surreal saying Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 or Figuarts Dragon Ball GT for that matter. I mean, it's only been a year since Goku was released, and I know for a lot of collectors, including myself, Super Saiyan 4 was always somewhat kind of a pipe dream. But in saying that, it's taken Tamashii a year to give us another character from the GT roster. I've said this before, I'm not the biggest GT fan. I know it's not for everyone, and I might get a bit of flack for saying that, but I've always enjoyed the character designs and aesthetics. So sure, I would have definitely liked to see more GT characters sprinkled in Tamashii's schedule throughout the year. But if it means that we get an almost perfect representation like this every release, Tamashii can take their time. I'm definitely happy to wait. But just look at this beauty of a figure. He's big. He's broad, he's stocky, just like he should be. The proportions scream Super Saiyan 4, and when you line him up with the other versions of Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 just looks so primal, so powerful. Again, it's all in the details. The sculpt work is one of the highlights of this figure. The fur is beautifully done. The angular, sharp lines on his chest feels very GT, very 90s art style. The wrinkles that bunch up around the crotch area, the musculature around his legs, the boots, the gloves, the tail, everything is sculpted uniquely to Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta only, and so it should be. No reuse of any previous releases. Whilst we do get some paintwork around the belt, the gloves, and the boots, which looks crispy clean, most of the figure is molded colored plastic, which I don't mind. But I have to be honest, I think it's a bit of a shame because I know with a bit more paintwork, especially some shading around the chest and the fur areas, this figure would have looked beyond phenomenal. Because again, the details are there. It really just needs a bit of shading, I think, to bring all of those beautiful sculpted details, which like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, can be lost in that sea of pink sometimes. However, there is actually some really nice shading work on the pants, well, at least on the front side anyway, which I wish they would have carried over to the rest of the body. And now to the stunning head sculpt. I gotta say, Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta have got to be some of Tamashii's best work in terms of head sculpts, although I will say, I do love the Super Saiyan 2 smirk. But this is exactly what I was looking for in a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta headpiece. Strong, sharp lines, well-defined angular hair that flows naturally to the back. The side pieces, the back pieces, the side hair pieces, the back hair pieces all complement each other and look like one cohesive hairpiece. A lot of the time with previous third-party releases, you'll just get your standard Vegeta head sculpt, and it looks like they've just cut up some extra hair and kind of just stuck it on the back there. But this looks natural. It's voluminous, it's the right color, and it's fully articulated. For the faces, the expressions are the perfect representation of the anime, faithfully reproduced in figure form. The face printing is Krispy Kreme donuts clean. You get the pink outline around the eyes, the turquoise colored pupils, and come on, just look at that classic Vegeta smirk. Just beautiful stuff. Mwah! So on to my minor but I think valid nitpicks about this figure, which I love but just wish could have been done just a little bit better or with a bit more consideration. So the hair and the crotch area is a little glossy compared to the rest of the fairly matte body. I mean, that can easily be fixed with a bit of dull coat, but I mean, it would have been nice to have some consistency, with the plastics. But the main offender of this figure for me personally are them thighs and the way it breaks up the silhouette of the overall figure. The way the thighs connects to the crotch piece isn't bad necessarily in terms of articulation. It works really well, but you get this kind of jarring disconnect, which in this case the 2.0 setup might have been a better choice, or at least maybe try to shave it down a little or make the connection between the two parts a little bit smoother. I mean, if this was Zarbon, this would have worked perfectly. But on Vegeta, he looks like he's wearing his leg. I don't know how else to explain it. But I will say this though, you won't even notice it when you pose him in anything else but a vanilla pose. But when you have Vegeta right up like this, it is noticeable. So for quality control, I am happy to say that I have nothing to report, negatively anyway, about my copy. No loose joints, no overly tight areas, no paint chipping or breakages. Everything looks, works, and moves just fine so far. So hopefully that's a good sign for everyone else. I'm really hoping that's the case because I want everyone to enjoy this figure and not have to worry about any QC problems. Alright, so let's take a look at Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's articulation, and I want to say that his articulation is pretty much the same as Super Saiyan 4. The setup is pretty much the same as Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's got the same kind of points of articulation. He's got the same kind of body setup as Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which is great because, as you all know, or all of you who have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku figure, he's got some of the best articulation in the game. So we're going to start off with Vegeta's head, and just like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the hair at the back and on the sides here are on ball hinges. So you can move them up to get Vegeta looking up without any restrictions, and looking down as well. And you can close that gap in between the back and the hair, and it looks natural. Really great engineering there. You've also got the hair on the sides here, which are the same. They are on ball hinges, so you can move them out of the way. Have Vegeta looking left and right, again without any problems, and it's great. And you can have the hair again laying flush, flat on his shoulders. Vegeta does have some left and right head tilt as well. The head and the neck are separate pieces, so that's going to help a lot. Vegeta does have fantastic, again, these are the updated shoulder joints that Tamashii have been, I guess, kind of, boasting about. But look at that. If Vegeta could hold a sword or some kind of weapon, he'd hold it perfectly. Look at how far the arms go into the chest like that. That's great. Love these new butterfly joints. For arm articulation, Vegeta moves his arms past 90. No problems there. 360 at the shoulder. And some really good double elbow joints there. Look at that. Fantastic. We have your standard swivel and hinges. Hold on. There we go. Hinges at the wrist For ab articulation, I want to show you this. He's got some really fantastic ab crunch. Look at that. Look at that going forward. Really good forward ab crunch. You do get a bit of a gap there at the back, but the amount of articulation you get there at the torso, I'm totally cool with it. The upper torso does swivel left and right. It is on a ball joint, so it does move around and around. But you know, you're going to get most of your swivel there at the waist, which is on a ball joint as well. So really good range of movement. And I'll just get that to focus, but look at that. Really good range of movement there in the torso, which is fantastic. Really like that. So for the legs, it's the new 3.0 setup. Really good splits going out. Again, it is hindered because of the way the rear there is sculpted. So you're not going to get any back, but Vegeta does get some really decent kicking forward. We do have upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, toe articulation, the feet, there we go down. The feet do go up. And my favorite part of the 3.0 setup is these new ankles. Look at that ankle pivot. So much better. So much better. So much cleaner. Aesthetics are there. Articulation is there. Love that new ankle joint. And of course we do get the tail, which is on a ball hinge as well, so you know, moves up and down and moves around and around. So yeah, you're going to get some, you know, pretty good range there for the tail. Get it posed up. But yeah, fantastic articulation here for Vegeta. It is a ton of fun to pose. Looks really great. Again, my only gripe is the way that they've sculpted the legs here at the thighs. That kind of disconnect can be kind of jarring when you have Vegeta in a vanilla pose like this. But you know, most of the time when you have him in like action poses, when you have him in like a wider stance, you're not going to notice it. It's just when you have him in a vanilla pose, it's kind of distracting. But again, yeah, just all round excellent articulation here for Vegeta. So for accessories, we get some really good looking hands, and man, I wish I could get a set in white so I could use them for my other Vegeta figures. But we get your 2 standard fists, 2 classic Vegeta 3-finger pose hands, a set of flat palm finger together hands, a pair of open palm finger splayed out hands, a set of final shine hands, and another set of final shine hands with a peg in the middle so you can attach the final shine energy effect piece, which is this little green semi-translucent ball with a bit of white paint on the front, and it just plugs into the hands. Either one, and Vegeta is all ready to do his iconic final shine attack. For faces, we get 4 in total: the standard stern face, the shouting face expression, a teeth gritting power struggle face, and my personal favorite, the classic Vegeta smirk. My final thoughts, just go out and buy him. Buy 2 of him. Buy 3 of him. Even if you don't like Dragon Ball GT, this is just a perfect example of what an S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball figure should be. Beautiful, faithful to the source material aesthetics with articulation that I think is rivaled by no other release in the line. Sure, you could argue the 2.0 crotch area gives you more backward range in the legs, but the updated ankles, The new butterfly shoulder articulation is just so much better and allows for more natural, nuanced posing. All of that coupled with some decent accessories, I think this is a perfect entry to the Figuarts Dragon Ball line, which is a question I get asked a lot actually. I just started collecting, what should I start off with? And I usually recommend picking up, your favorite character, but with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, it has everything that is good about the line and leaves you wanting more, in a good satisfied way. This guy is definitely in my top 10, though I still really love that updated Krillin we got earlier this year. I think that figure is perfect. It's kind of a toss-up between those two, I think. But Vegeta is definitely right up there, which I already knew he would be. So the future of Figuarts GT, well, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, of course. That's a no-brainer. It should come with some fused hands for both Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But yeah, throw in some villains, Baby Vegeta, Omega Shenron, Super 17, really anything at this point. I'm down. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Tamashii can do with their next GT figure. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. This was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed talking about this figure. I was really looking forward to it. It was my most anticipated figure for this year. I'm going to spend some more time with this guy, I think, taking a few more photos. Maybe even take him home back with me to Australia. Yes, I'm going back to Australia for a week or so. But I'm going to be down there, just to see my mum, see with the family, catch up with some friends. But once I get back, I'll have another Mafex review up, hopefully. Classic colored Spider-Man. Which will be out in Japan next week, so I'm really looking forward to, taking a look at that and seeing how it compares to the original comic book Spider-Man. Anyway, that's it from me. Got to pack, got to catch a flight in a couple of hours, but take good care of yourselves out there, be good to your mums, and as always, yoroshiku!